All of these, scandalous trolls, and when they say something about a particular person, it's never backed up with anything logical, they never actually substantiate what they're talking about. They just keep on throwing this mud, and you never really get to the grips with what show us some proof. So it's easy for them, the other person coming in, to get caught up in all of that, get really paranoid, get really suspicious. There's a genuine need for paranoia. There's actually a positive aspect of it, which is sort of aligned to skepticism, aligned to trying to carve out your own path, to not necessarily take on board what everyone is saying to you. But then it can quickly blend over, if you're not careful, into cynicism. And also there's a lot of envy out there. And there's a lot of just pig ignorance. We're dealing with it. See, it's good for people like me to take my message to the global platform, but there's a downside to that as well. It means that you're not in the face of the person that is contradicting you. So so they're doing it behind a mask. They're doing it by a internet handle. Whereas if I just stayed in my backyard, I could literally confront these people. I could get into their face, and I could, make a point of saying, yeah, come on out and tell me what's your problem. On the internet, they can take cheap shots at you, and there's nothing you can really do about it. And as you climb the ladder to greater notoriety, then those people envy that. They go, how did you do that? That's very difficult. It's very difficult to write, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 books, and to build your own fame, and to do it all without a degree, and to have such self-assertion. And in case of me, it's particularly strong because I was there as one of the first people to even have videos on the old Google when it came out. I was one of the first people, to, as I say, bring in the psychology. A lot of my work starts about 20 years ago, in the dark days, before the internet and these kinds of things. So it's been a long, painful haul, and people on the envious side know that, and so they come in and they realize that you've taken all the brunt of it. You and people before you took all the mud slinging. Hey, and you've built the bridge. You've opened the canals for us to just sail down on our yachts and break champagne open and have all these accolades.
Yeah.
And even when we put feet wrong, right, like you just said, when they go completely wrong, hey, nobody checks them, nobody contradicts them, nobody comes and says, what the hell are you talking about? So they get a complete green light, where people like us had to walk over broken glass, to pioneer these subjects and push people through. I can't tell you how many other podcasters, have told me that they even moved to doing podcasts because they were fans of mine and listened to my work in the old days, and it actually motivated them, because I was always motivating people. I was saying, why don't you get up and make a blog, or get up and make a radio station? And I can't tell you how many people actually said that that's why they did exactly that. So there's a good side to it, because you're on the global internet. But then the dark side is, that's a lot of people, and you're going to have a lot of boogaloos and a lot of fringe freaks from all over the planet having their 2 cents, and it really has nothing to do with the context of what you're talking about. It may be even deeply envious, where they'll do anything to bring you down. There's a swarm of plagiarists, literally paraphrasing and repackaging your work, scratching off your name and sticking their own graffiti on there, and doing it in a very disrespectful way. I encourage people, to do all the things I'm talking about, and to take up these subjects, particularly the psychological. I don't want to be, as I said, I was the first one to do it. I don't want to be the first one to do it. I want the whole world to be doing it. But I do draw the line when people are saying, trying to come up and say, and take the very words that you're speaking and the very subjects that you've been handling and pioneering, and then, presenting it as their own without any reference. That's why I say that you are one of the only people I've ever met who has that respect, and it's a completely, almost unique experience for me to be in that kind of environment, because it is not something I've had before, and that's a very, very good sign, and it encourages others to be, use that level of integrity as well, which has been missing for the most part. I will say that.